Hello, hello. Welcome back to Friyay Reading Sprint. I'm Britt. This is my channel, brittwriterly. It's a book and author too, where I talk about the intersections of literature and culture and my writing journey. We do these every Friday from 10 to 12 Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today we may go to like 12:30 because we're starting a little bit late, but I will now let my lovely co-host introduce us.
Hey everybody, I'm Shay. My channel is Shay with the hobbies. I be writing, I be reading, I be creating. If that's something you can get interested in, hey, you doing too much already, sir. If that's something you can get interested in, mostly on over to my channel and click that subscribe button. This year been a little sparse for content. Next year we already got stuff in the works to be more consistent. Yay! So
Yay. Okay, let's greet the chat. For those of you who are watching on the replay, thank you very much. We appreciate our shadow watchers. Make sure you smash that like button. And if you're feeling a little brave, leave us a little comment. You can leave a little yellow heart emoji if you have nothing more to say. Uh, Good morning, Deidre. We have made it to Friday. Wow. Wow. That's all I have to say. Oh, skipped over Vina. Hi, Pat. Yay, yay, it's Friday. Hey, Vina. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're feeling better. Okay, let's make up for lost time and get right into this first sprint. We'll still try to hit a strong 3. If not, we'll hit a strong 2. So I am actually going to do my Bible study this first sprint. So that maybe like the first sprint and a half, depending on how that goes. But I'm going to start with, yay, feeling better. I'm going to start with my Bible study because it's raining here today. And it just feels like the kind of day where it's like, you better put the most important stuff first because you got about 2 hours of energy before you go on a nap. And even after the nap, you're not going to feel like doing anything but being technically awake while actually still vegging out on the couch watching someone's show. So I'm like, what do I definitely want to get done today? First of all, Bible study. Second of all, a couple of other things. But the Bible study is the most thought intensive thing for the day, actually. So I'm gonna put that first. Shay, what you working on?
Um, I need to finish writing this letter that needs to go into the mail before the mailman gets here. So I'm gonna do that on the first sprint. But I'm also listening to what is it? To Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. So that's the
How are
book.
you liking it?
Um, so I feel like I'm a couple chapters in,
Okay.
but I will say that I was like listening to it in the shower at like 5 in the morning. So I might like just rewind and just start all over again and make sure I'm like 100% sure what's going on. Cause
Yeah.
like it's like it like I feel like it's like I'm like it's a cult or whatever. And so like I just want to make sure I'm not like missing important details that is gonna help me to solve it before the book end. Because I don't like to be in the dark about stuff. So I can't allow myself to know that I'm a little bit I don't remember everything and keep reading. So what I'm saying is I'm probably gonna start the book over again. So I'm 100% immersed in what's going on, so I'm not lost. Cause it's like terminology and stuff. Cause like so I thought from what people were talking about, it was like a cult of black people, but I feel like there's Caucasians. And so I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I definitely need to pay attention because this ain't what I thought I was going to be reading. So now I got to see yeah.
What y'all on?
Right, right. Because like, I don't know. I thought it was like a religion is the bad guy story, and it looks like it's gonna be like religion and racism is the bad guy story, and I'm like, well,
So much
dang.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get through reading much of that. People recommended it to me, but they're like, yeah, it's hard, but I think you'll like it. And I'm like, I don't like religion as the bad guy stories, to be honest. There's so many of them, and I'm like, can we have
Well, for me,
representations
so
of
for me, to
good
be honest,
churches?
I haven't read one. I can't think of a book that I've read where like religion is the bad guy.
I don't read them. Like when
Yeah,
I see it,
so
I
that's what I'm
just
saying. So like, I know people.
like, but
I know you said there's a lot of them, but I don't. I can't even think of outside of this one. I can't think of one anyone's recommended me. So that's why I'm like, huh. I'm curious of like. what that could be. So you said you know some other ones, so definitely let me know some others that they're about black authors because I'm curious.
Talking to me?
Yeah, you said you know you've heard of some other ones, so yeah, let me know.
Yeah, but I
I'm
don't
gonna have to
remember.
check that.
Like, I can't give you any titles. I'm so sorry.
Oh, gotcha,
If I
gotcha.
think about it, I may be able to off the top of my head. I just don't. I feel like there's the church either isn't represented or the church is represented as a bunch of like hyper judgmental white people.
Well, you know that is definitely the face of Christianity in America. So
Right. And so I don't really mean where the like this where there's like an actual church. It's usually a single person in the story who is representative of church people, and they are super judgy and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, sure, but this is not the only representation. So can we have some more complexity to the
yeah,
city, please? So I got through about 2 chapters, and then I was like, yeah, it's about time for me to head on out. So let me know what you think. Venus said
yeah.
it's a cult of white religious people. So that's
Oh
what
yeah,
time it
because I'm
is.
reading and I'm like, well, so like to me, like nothing about it screams Christianity. It screams cult. So like I don't feel away like reading it or make me feel away about it because like nothing says Christianity yet. So all it is just people believe some real crazy stuff apparently.
Yeah. Well, I will be looking to you for a thorough okay, so boom review.
He told you to leave her alone.
Titan,
What
are
can
you still being a creep?
he is being a creep. And she's like, okay, well, you're gonna keep getting bitten. I'm just
You
gonna
gonna get these cutie paps.
Nah,
Oh my
he literally was on his like hind legs, like paws up in the air last night because she like came and she was like on him. She pushed him up against the wall and she just would not let him. And I was like, she told you to leave her alone. She done moved to the couch. You want to hop on the couch? You keep on. Okay, well,
listen, Titan's starting to smell himself. She's like,
he
ah,
is.
I'm
Like,
gonna
he like,
fix you.
I'm grown now.
She's like, okay, no, sir. No, sir.
You still got 5 years on you, sir.
And will always.
Right.
Hello, literary lady. We are still in this present darkness. It's a 2-quarter stay. So this is the last quarter. We're going to be in it. And I'm trying to tell them, I'm like, okay, we got to move right along. Y'all got to keep up. So I got to make sure that I am like reviewing these chapters and making sure that I am pulling out the scriptural references and everything and making sure that they are understanding the difference between like what is actual scripture and then what is like dramatized for the purpose of the book. So doing some of that. Shay's been the year which means Tia, hey. Moving. I did not like Forging a Nightmare, which is a fantasy that uses Christian lore. Religion isn't the bad guy in that one. Okay. Oh, I did like. I put a whole word in there. I was like, I did like Forging a Nightmare. Okay. I'll check that one out. Does it have an audiobook? Isn't it centered around the Salem witch trials and Tituba? I don't know. I really didn't get far in it. I was very much like, I don't want to read a book about a hyper conservative religion, even if it's not Christianity. I just don't. I don't want to. And also I didn't like that it was a bunch of, whenever I read a story that's a bunch of white people with like one or a few black people, it makes me really nervous and I don't like it. I can't enjoy the
See, and that's
story.
what I'll do. That's another reason why I said I had to go back and listen because I was like, I'm getting a feeling that like she the only black person, and again, that
Yeah,
wasn't what I thought I was gonna be reading.
it makes me really
So
nervous.
I just have to. I'm just having to. I just hate when I have expectations and think a book is gonna be one thing and it's not that. So okay, so not that. All right.
So you let me know what it is. But yeah, I can't. It makes me nervous. It's not unlike the reason that even though I love the writing of Legendborn, I still have that 0.5 star ought with it, where I'm just like, but why are there so many violent white people around this black girl? It's the same thing. I don't like reading stories like that. Even if I like the story, that will take me. That makes reading it just very uncomfortable for me. Yes, it does have an audiobook. Yay! Today's read is blood marked, and I'm sick of Cell. I don't even know. I
You
wanted
better
to
than
read it.
me. You better than me because I'm not reading neither. Not nan book. Not nan book.
Yeah,
Not reading nan one of them.
I wanted to because again, like I don't hate Legendborn. The story is very well written, but like I have a real hard time reading Black people surrounded by white folks because especially in these sort of circumstances where it feels like racial violence is always about to happen, and I just can't. I just can't. And then I talked to an internet friend who read it, and she was like, "Yeah, you may want to take a beat on this one because that book had me up late into the night in my feelings. It's good, but like." So basically the same as Legendborn. It's really, really good, but it's really gonna have you anxious and upset for and on behalf of Bree. And I'm just like, nah, I don't want to do. I don't. I gotta protect my energy right now. I don't want to do it. But I gotta listen to a. Oh, I hate that for you. But let us know. Your thoughts. Are you just starting, or where are you in it? I might check out Forging a Nightmare. Thanks for letting. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Takes a little bit to get into it, but it's really good. Ray from Bookmark Chronicles read it recently too. Okay, Forging a Nightmare. I'll look for it on Scribd before I start my Bible study. All right, y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into our first sprint. Brought to you by the lovely Shay with the Hobbies.
Oh yeah, let me share my screen. I did put it up. I do have it. I did have it. Yeah. Yes, Vina. Every week, Vina put a tweet up and she was like, "Do you ever read something and it has you like side eyeing your mutuals after you read it because they loved it type of deal?" And I was like, every single week. And she's like, "Not every week." Yes, girl. Britt, the two people who know more than anybody is Britt and Deidre. I'd be like, okay, so somebody said they like this book and I read it and I just
I don't see it.
about it because I don't know. And now I'm like, can I trust
Can I
anything
trust
they
you?
recommend? I talk to them about that like quite often, because I'd be so confused. I hate when somebody's like, "This book is amazing," and I'm like, "But was it though?"
But where are we looking exactly for the amazingness?
Right.
You tell me where to look. Maybe I overlooked it.
Yeah, because I missed it. I missed it, child. I missed it.
Mercy.
Not
Anyway,
that the 30-minute timer went. All right.
it was like, and that's all.
Right. Okay. And three, two, one. Let's
Y'all turn them pages. Oh, I
Oh,
should add it to the
I share
stream.
my screen. I was like, I did share it. I can't make it
That is
show.
already at 4 minutes. Wait a minute.
Oh, what I said restart. They childish. That's why I was already done. Because I was like, I didn't pull this up 30 minutes ago. Why did I already do it? Hi. Okay, y'all. Go ahead, Britt. Do your thing.
All right. And three, two, one. Y'all turn them pages. Okay, so that was our first sprint. I did a lot of household things actually. So for the first like a little bit over 15 minutes, I was putting my laundry in the. I was putting in some laundry because I'm almost out of socks. So it's about that time. So I started a load of laundry and I lotioned my feet because I was like, let me not have my feet out here dry, especially because I'll be putting my feet right in front of the heater. Because if my feet are cold, I'm cold. It don't matter how bundled up the rest of myself is. So I was like, let me just lotion up my feet before I put them in front of the heater. Make sure I'm all moisturized before I dry myself out. But anyway, so I studied for like a little under 15 minutes actually, but it was a productive start. And I'm moving on to another facet of the study in the second sprint, and I hopefully will be able um, to finish for the day, to get to a good stopping point for the day in this sprint. And I have my coffee. She made it really sweet. I don't know if this is literally 5 pumps of everything, or maybe I just overestimated how many pumps I would need of syrup. But this is so sweet, and I'm just like, ma'am. But maybe next time I should really just like listen to them and have it be 4 in a large and not 5. But to me, this is such a big cup to only have 4 pumps of anything. But I do French vanilla swirl and caramel swirl. So even if it's and cream. So even if it's only 4 pumps, that's 12 pumps of sweetener of different kinds, as opposed to the 15 that I put. When now I'm like, whoa, this is sweet. So I think next time I'm just gonna try 4. But here's the thing, it really depends on how bitter their coffee is that day. But if their coffee is A1 and then you put 5 instead of 4, it's overkill. But if their coffee is like, this is the bottom of a pot in it, then 5 is like, okay, but it's fine because this is extra cream. It's such a balance. It is such a delicate balance. But anyway, I see Shay over there grinning. I'm acting like I don't though. Shay, what'd you do?
I finished his letter. I was like adding some little embellishments on it to make it look cute and whatnot.
I'm sending you a 4-page
I am, and
letter,
you better get
and
it
I
on time.
close it with a kiss. And if I write, then you better
You better get
get
it on
it
time.
on time, time.
So that is like the first music video that I like readily have memories of seeing like for the very first time at like
Really?
my grandmother's house, my dad's mom's house when I was a kid on this big old box TV, but like one that sat in one of those like wooden things. So it's like wood all on the side of it with the speakers and everything. And I just remember her being in like the jungle or whatever.
Really?
I feel like that's the video. Like she's like running through the like wood or like a
That's such an interesting concept for a letter. I'm expecting
yeah. I feel like I
more.
don't feel like she was at home. Like I feel like she was like
That's what I would expect her to be writing at home. Very
I
sit
feel
your
like I'm
hand
about to
on
go look
home,
now. Like let me be like I remember this messed it. Hold on.
I'm
4 page.
expecting those 2 videos to be in the same place, home. But whatever, I suppose. So while Shay finds that,
Oh yeah, no, she's definitely outside. Okay, I was like, I didn't make this up. She's definitely like grass. Yeah, I was like, I didn't make this up. It's definitely she's like out in like a rainforest. And I remember it just being way. Let me not get you doxxed or nothing. Or
right?
you didn't pull you down. But I remember being like, as a kid, like, what does this have to do with mailing a letter? As a kid. Okay, I
Questions we
remember.
have to this day.
Right. But
Like, I mean, the song is still a hit, but I don't understand.
right. For real, for real.
I don't understand that choice. Uh, okay. And blood mark being is about 40% in, and wondering when the black people are gonna do something in this. So who are the black people besides Bree and Patricia's the therapist,
Oh,
right?
so
And
there's more black people. Did she feel
did she meet new
chastised?
ones?
Did she feel chastised enough to add more black people?
That would be a good question
Because
because
like
her.
every time somebody complained about it, it was well maybe this wasn't the book you thought you were going to read or you wanted to read because
It
maybe this
definitely
wasn't the
wasn't.
book for you because that's not Bree's story. or Rue's story or whatever her name is. I can't remember.
No, Rue is
Everybody's names be similar.
they do, but Rue is Ashes of Gold, Wings
Okay.
Ebony. Yeah. Now Rue's story was blackity black black black.
Blackity black black black.
Bree, not so much. Um, yeah, I don't
And the
know. I
part
know.
that's weird is like, so she went to school to the college with white people. So did she come from like a white high school too? So she didn't have like black friends like before
I mean, it's not giving. She had black friends. She never
ever
mentioned
in life,
any of
right?
them.
Right.
She never mentions them. She just mentions Alice, who is there with her. So I don't know. I don't know. And Legendborn, the only black people that I remember are Bree, her dad, memories and mentions of her mother, Patricia, the therapist, and I cannot remember the name of the only black student who she meets, who's also a medium. And then obviously whenever Brie goes back in time and sees her ancestors, but the only living
I
people
feel
who are black
like
are the
we should
five.
not have to count enslaved ancestors as the black people in your book. I feel like that ain't even fair. I feel like it's disrespectful to the ancestors personally. Like what? I don't know. Okay, we're
I
not
mean,
gonna
they
talk about
count. They're people. But as far as like people we see day to day in the
as far
story,
as
no.
like characters, that's what I mean. Like they do count as people. I'm not saying enslaved black people were not people. Like that would be very white supremacist of me
Of
to say.
course.
I'm saying like I'm not counting your memory of your
Yeah.
grandma being raped by the slave master as you having black people in your book is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
That's a stretch for me. That's not the representation I asked for when I said I would
That's
like
the thing. She's a person, she counts as a person, but as a character, she's a
yeah,
memory.
yeah.
She's a
That you don't
memory.
even have. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm
So
trying to
I don't
hold this
know.
all pretty like and whatnot. I'm not, let me just focus on what I'm doing.
I mean, listen. Okay. We're wondering when the folks are going to do something. Are these new black people, or is it the same
Tell us
the
in,
same vibe?
girl.
Because at this point I'm reading it by proxy through you. I really wanted to be able to read Blood Marks, but I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it. Breathe happily and hydrate. Yes, I had a bit of water. Okay, good. Because when I was looking at Forging a Nightmare on Scribd, it's on Scribd's BT Dubs. It's 16 hours, and I'm just like, that could be a good thing or a bad thing. We'll see. Because sometimes these books be stretching for no reason.
This is
But it started off with FBI agent and I was like, is this the story? But then I kept reading, and it was like Nephilim, and I was like, oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I have to go get ready for the office Christmas party. Okay, Deidre.
okay. All
Mm,
right.
don't have too much eggnog, and don't be over there taking making copies of your butt on the printer.
Making copies of your butt on the printer, girl.
That's what happens on the office dramas.
The office dramas. I'm done with you.
Listen, Tia listens to 2 chapters of On Beauty by Zadie Smith. Okay. Oh, has a little jump. I finished another chapter, bringing up the section about how some people define blackness by racism, slavery, and natural hair.
Girl,
whole
conversation.
My goodness. Get it on time. Tia, sing it in the comments.
Right.
Is it laying on a? Oh, is she laying on a car at one point, Shay?
I think so. I feel like at one point.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shay. Happy birthday to you.
It's that time of year where I change my birthday ringtone to tell me happy birthday ringtone to my baby.
Tomorrow is the day.
Every time I be like, oh, I can smile.
Wait a minute. Literary lady, she said that writing black people was too much of an emotional burden?
Ooh, Chile.
What? No, the way you write Black people is an emotional burden for your readers as well, but you don't have to do that.
Girl. I was about to say something. Ooh, I'm gonna type it.
Hold it in, because maybe she's not talking about what's her name? Dang, Tracy Down. Maybe she's not talking about her.
Maybe she's not. Maybe she not.
That's who we're talking about. We're gonna let you answer the question first. Are you saying Tracy Dion in answer to some of the critiques were saying that writing a lot of Black people was too much of an emotional burden? We're gonna wait for your answer before we say anything else. Every Black interaction, to quote Monty, feels transactional. Oh man.
Oh, like she gotta get something out to Black people for them to be a part of the story, girl.
Because we do see a plethora of white folks that are just there. I can barely remember their names. They're just the scion of X, Y, and Z. But we got to have a reason for these Black people. How about emotional support? How about the fact that they actually exist? Can we just see someone walking across the quad? I mean, that's what I'm saying. She ain't got to know. And again, like, this is what I heard from a lot of people that went to UNC Chapel Hill when Deidre and I did our discussion of it, because we buddy read it, and they were like, I mean, I go to UNC Chapel Hill. I went to UNC Chapel Hill. The Black student organizations are very prevalent, and like we're very prominent. Like they're out there and about. So it doesn't make sense for her not to have seen them. And I'm just like, well, there you have it from people.
The only reason it makes sense for her not to have seen them is she didn't look for them.
Right.
Like she went out of her way. If she were a freshman.
Right. If she were a freshman and this were like freshman week, I would be like, now there is really no way that they're like these clubs, they'd be out there on like, what do they call it, registration week? No, what's the other R word?
I think you're talking about what is it called? I don't know. What is it when you the first week orientation?
Thank you. Orientation week clubs be majorly out there so that you can see what's, on campus and available. The only way I can see them not being as out there, even though it is Bree's first week being there, is that she's not a college freshman. She's a senior, junior, whatever. Like she's a high school student.
And that's different for me because like here, when it's more lively when there are younger students coming to get onto campus, like when we have juniors and seniors in high school come to campus. There's more things going on.
You would expect the clubs to be out there to see,
right?
Hey, here's the UNC
and
experience.
Usually, at least here in Oklahoma, whatever program you're in for the summer as a high schooler, they have people come talk to you. So they'll have like the president of Afro-Am or the president of Hispanic Student Association or Latin American. Like they'll have them come and talk. So it's even weirder.
Yeah.
You're there for a whole summer and y'all aren't selling her on the campus.
Yeah, I mean, especially the first few days, like get out there, have a cookout. I don't know, but people that went to UNC Chapel Hill were like, this doesn't feel accurate to my experience, and I'm like, well, I defer to them, and so should she.
So did she not go there?
I don't know. No, I really do not put a lot of thought into Legend Born or her. Nothing I hear about her is good. It's always some clapback she got against criticism, and I'm just like, listen, do you?
The way that I wrote this girl so Black girls could see themselves being loved unapologetically without doing anything. Read The Undead Truth of Us, and there you go.
Hello?
Because
get out of here.
It exists.
Read there.
Like it exists. There are Black women being loved in books for doing nothing but being Black. Literally.
Read Alexander House. Like, I'm just, what are you saying to us right now?
Right. And
what are you saying?
Caucasian.
Two Caucasian boys that just love her for being her. I mean, that's fine. But the comments sort of suggested they got to be white for that to happen.
He started off talking to her out of pocket.
Right. Please don't get me started on.
I just feel like low key, what you are doing is romanticizing racial abuse in relationships, but whatever.
Abuse.
Whatever.
It's never gonna be okay to me that he's a love interest.
To me, that would make you undateable. Like you can't get past. You can't get past it. Like it would take.
You threaten me. We're done.
It would take 10 years. Like I would need you to have to gone through some major life changes for me to believe that you're not that person. Because why would you even say that to begin with?
I'm gonna rip your tongue out of your mouth. We're done.
Right.
We're done. That's not even an enemies to lovers. That's abuse.
Right.
He tried to kill her multiple times.
Right.
I don't care what the reasons he had. Like, oh, it's his job. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Like, what did I say? You can't date everybody with every occupation. Sometimes it's just too much fun in the relationship, sweetheart. That you can't do it. And that should have been the lesson. Oh, I already got spoiled on this book, and some ancestral disrespect is definitely coming. Oh, like her ancestors are coming to like smack her, or she is about to disrespect her ancestors, in which case I hope they come and smack her. Because her grandma already did when she took the Lord's name in vain, which I loved. I was like, that's what's supposed to happen. Yes, I so love Monty's review. Okay. More love for oh man, more love for Monty's review. Tia said I'm definitely done with the thing. So did Pat. Margaret, hey Margaret, love these discerning reading reports. Coming in to like and listen for a bit, still in bed. Girl, good for you. So far, we've met one new Black person who is one of the other Black people in the order. There's another one? What's their job? Is it servant?
You know this character only came into existence because of all the backlash. You know.
And I thought that she was the only one. Was that not what was said? So who was this other person? Because she was the most diverse pledge class. So who is this other person and how long they've been there?
The most diverse pledge class because one minority was in it. I'm done.
Yes.
Low-key, that's how you know you work in academia, because that's exactly how they work stuff. This is the most diverse pledge class we've ever had.
Oh my. I said, oh, we're in for the foolery today. We are in for the foolery today. But yeah, the microaggressions she presented were accurate. I just think if there were more Black people around, everything else that happened would have landed a lot better. So anyway, okay, Alexandria House. Oh, she said that in an old tweet. Oh goodness. Vina, I remember that emotional burden comment. It was something along the lines of writing a story where the Black person takes down a white society. That's not an emotional burden? Okay, so it sounds like what you're saying is she was saying the emotional burden was writing a story where it's like the Black person taking down a white society.
Is that not what's happening in the book?
It is, so I'm very confused.
So I'm confused. Is that not
like, well, you are burdened, low, and full of care. I don't understand. That's what you chose.
Child, couldn't be me.
I'm just gonna keep that entire situation out my mouth. The tweet is old. I didn't see it. I didn't see the context. I'm just gonna scroll on. Happy cachet. Blessings to you, Queen.
Thank you.
But like, what's the point of the story if she ain't gonna burn it all down? That's what better happen. What are we talking about? She better burn that entire thing down. Happy early birthday, cachet. Have all the fun tomorrow. The Bloodborne writer said that. What's Bloodborne?
I think she's talking about the blood mark, the Legendborn. Legendborn blood mark put together, I feel like.
Got it. Tracy Dion. I was watching some Black girl at UNC's vlog, and the Black people be having their own homecoming celebration and everything. Wow.
That's how it is at my PWI. That's why when people be like, like, nah, you just didn't find the Black people. Like, literally, because we have everything. We have our own homecoming king and queen, everything. Like, it's a whole celebration.
Yeah. For Black girls who were the first.
You can be the first and not be surrounded by white people to do it. I'm just saying.
We named a lot of books. The Undead Truth of Us by Brittany S. Lewis, Ray Bearer and Redemptor by Jordan Fuego, Wings of Ebony, Ashes of Gold by JL, and it's a black love triangle in that one. So I'm just like, what are we talking about with black girls being loved unapologetically? That
Right.
happens. Right.
Oh yeah, nah, cause Sanji, he loved him some. He loved him some Terraside. Love him some Terraside.
As you should.
Was coming to her in her dreams to
Hello,
see
I
her.
said, listen.
In the dreams to see
You
her.
better, young
Oh,
love.
man. So,
Get it then.
I'm just saying, we got love that transcends planes, but you talking about, oh my god.
These white racist boys.
Okay, girl.
I just feel like we need to aim higher. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man, you know, I'm just saying some of these writers, I be wondering how their parents feel. Is all I'm saying.
Aim higher. Oh, and
because so many of them come from two black parents. It's so weird to me.
I don't understand. Maybe it's the experience of going to a PWI and then all your friends over time being white people. I don't know.
I see. Majority of my life was around predominantly white institutions, so I don't get it.
Oh,
dang.
Mercy. Well, at least she has good taste.
Right. Hey, the kid's gonna be all right.
That is true. Daughters of Jubilation, also by Carly Compton.
I haven't read that. Is it good?
I need her to get an audiobook. I have the physical book, and the cover is beautiful. That's the one that Brie and I are always like, I'm gonna finish it. Give me an audiobook.
Gotcha.
But that is also black love. It's set in Alabama, Mississippi, it's set in the deep south.
Okay.
Like, it's a historical family.
I'm here for more South-based love stories, because here's the thing.
Absolutely. Ain't no love like Southern love.
We can't find love in the South for some reason.
Which is strange, because that's where the black people are. So
right. Like, majority of black Americans live in the southern part of the country.
Right. For at least some substantial part of their life. So I'm just like, it's all very strange. Shay, someone asked you what you're doing for your birthday. Can you set up the next timer while you answer that?
Yeah, it's right there. All you gotta do is pull it
up. Oh yeah, that's me now. Go ahead. What do you
I don't have no plans, y'all. Here's the thing: is it's cold in Oklahoma right now, and what I don't do is the cold. Is the truth. I don't do the cold. Luckily, it's not snowing, so there's that. I bought a few outfits and I made a couple of things, so I plan to take like my camera out and do a little self-portrait photo shoot type deal, because I did one right before I started my YouTube channel, and so since January will be the start of year 4, I was like, it might be fun to revisit this self-portrait idea and like reflect on the last 3 years. So that'll probably be what I do, and I'm thinking I'll do it live. I just don't know when, so pay attention to my socials. Y'all will see the tweet.
Okay. Alrighty. My laundry is ready to flip, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna start the final half of my Bible study for the day. And then if we do one more sprint, I will probably try to get some writing in. Either that, or I will take the last of our sprint time to scream about this latest romance that I'm reading, and that would probably take all of our time. But I have to, because I'm so sick of this girl already. I'm telling you, I just need a romance that plays in a nice, moderate space instead of playing with these extremes. I'm so sick of it. But anyway, we're going to get this possibly second to last sprint in 3, 2, 1. Y'all turn them pages. Not any single. Okay, finished my Bible study. So now after the stream, I am ready to launch into other work. I have so many lists around my house telling me what I need to be doing next, and I'm still like, what should I be doing next? I'm tired. I am tired. Lists are only so helpful. I need the order. I know what I need to do. What do I need to do very next? And I'm just like, I don't know. Lunch? Let's just lunch. Let's just lunch. Okay. Let's see. It's cold and frosty, a lot of snow in the UK. Britt or Shay, do you know about Dr. Monica Coleman? She discusses mental health in the Black church. I don't, but I'll look her up. If a white man if a white man is possessing a Black girl, does he also count as the MC? Listen, questions that need answers. Hey, Bree, thanks for joining. Hope all is well with you. And all is well in school in your program.
To recite that if a white man is possessing a Black girl, does he count as the MC? Well, when I watched that movie Soul, and they tried to convince us it was a Black movie, but it was a white woman in that Black man's body, and the Black man was a cat for the whole thing, I felt the way. So that's my answer to it.
So there we go.
Also, why would you write that? Why would you write? Oh my, that
maybe she's thinking along the lines of Kindred, of like, we have to talk about the white ancestry of Black people. But I'm like, I like the way Octavia Butler did it better.
The white ancestry of Black people is what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe she's like wanting to wrestle with that, and I think there's a way to wrestle with that without having him literally.
She wrestling, all right.
Literally wrestling with it. I'm like, but why we got to go back to them owning the body in such a personal way? Which that's what slavery was. But I'm like, why are we bringing that up to a contemporary moment though?
But also like possession.
I mean,
like there's something to be said about consent in that conversation. There is something to be said.
Right, but I'm saying maybe you haven't read Kindred yet though. But I'm saying, but maybe because when Dana goes back to 1800s Maryland, her white ancestors they're plantation owners and they seek to own her. She resisted and tries to navigate it, but they definitely they do get into like possessing her. And so I'm saying maybe Dion is trying to think along the same lines of re-encountering and experiencing to understand the plight of your ancestors.
Okay, so maybe I'm misunderstanding. I thought possession like spiritual possession, like he's inside.
It is. But I'm saying maybe she's using that to talk about possession and the way.
I think you are just trying to be nice, because do you really think that she's really doing all that subversion? Like, you really think that she's doing all that in these books? Like,
I don't think it's subversive. I don't, whether she's trying to do that or not. I don't think that it is subversive for her to do it. I don't know that she would argue it's subversive either. I'm just saying maybe that's the theme that she is pursuing. I'm saying I prefer the way Kindred does it, but when we're talking about possession and how personal and intimate it was personal and intimate both ways. It was ownership of the body both ways. It was control and coercion both ways. So I'm just like, maybe that's what she is thinking. I don't know, but I'm saying perhaps. But at any rate, Vienna has more updates for us. I can't say that I'm just going to completely. They say comedy is mostly timing. So they just explained how Bree is the first Black legend born, but she's not the first Black person in the order because other Black people have been pages and squires. Okay. All right. Working on my left here for my third term. Okay. You got it. How do you all? What do you all think about the Kendrick series? I haven't read it yet. I haven't watched it yet. I gotta watch it. Maybe that'll be what I do some of this weekend. I was waiting for it to come out, and then I missed the premiere, and now I keep forgetting that it's out in the world. I gotta get on it. Also, I don't think I have an HBO subscription, so I'm gonna have to like wrestle with whether I want to have yet another subscription all for the sake of one show, and I don't know. I don't know.
You can always do a trial. Watch it when you run.
That's true. I'll probably wait to do the trial till it's all on there so I can
That
binge
makes
watch
sense.
it. Yeah, so I can binge watch it and then get out. But that is true. And she had Nick apologize for Vera's assault. Had Bree acknowledged she can't accept it, but still praise him for doing it. And Nick ain't the one that did it anyway. So like that whole scene just seems a little bankrupt, a little. If you know it's not doing anything, then why are you? I'm confused. I am confusion. Oh, it's on Hulu. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Well, maybe I'll watch it this weekend. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend. I know that there's been a lot of like there's been some kindred craze going on, and it's well deserved, but I hope it's not like the sort of cheap knockoff that say Antebellum was, which, don't be dragging Janelle Monáe into y'all's ridiculous knockoffs, please. Leave her alone. Because Antebellum was nothing but a knockoff of Kendra, and I've heard not a single good thing about it. And I'm not gonna watch it. As soon as someone told me the end, spoiler alert. As soon as someone told me that in the end it was all a game they were playing on Black people and that they weren't really going back in time, I was like, someone get me a white glove so I can smack them. How dare you? You, sir, are a cad. What is the purpose of that? Are you happy? Are you pleased with yourself for doing that? Get out of here. So I hope that since they're like calling it Kindred, they do a really good and faithful job of representing it. The trailers looked, fine, but trailers usually do. And then you get in there and it's like, oh, y'all really used up every single highlight in that trailer just to get me here, because this is not high or lighting. I'm hoping for good things. Oh man. Okay, folks are on the bandwagon. Literary lady didn't like it. Oh gosh. Don't even tell me what you didn't like about it. Let me just go in. Let me just go in first. Dang. Dang. Okay. Yeah. Instead of doing another sprint, I'm gonna tell you about this latest romance I'm reading and why I don't like it. Are you ready? Here we go. So the romance is called Witches Get Stuff Done, and it's by Molly Harper, and it's an Audible original. Now, what I will say is Audible most certainly has been stepping. What is this? The way they need to stop recommending me these random YouTube videos of people that I don't even subscribe to. Please stop. What I will say about Audible is they've been stepping their original game up, because I read a slew of really, really great Audible original romances. Most of them were by, what's her name? I hope I can remember it now. Cara something. I'm gonna find it. But I gotta tell you, I read her other work that wasn't Audible original. I didn't like it. She killed them Audible originals. She really did. But the rest, Cara Bastone. She has a love line series that I really, really love. It's super sweet. It's clean. I love it. There's not a lot of, if any, profanity. I love it. Just a nice little sweet romance. So Cara Bastone, however you pronounce it, whichever way. It's her love line series. It's really good. It's 3 of them, and I really, really like them. So I'm listening to this Audible original. We have high hopes. Molly and Cara may be friends, but like I don't know. I far and away do not like Like, as much as I liked Love Lines, is maybe half as much as I like Witches Get Stuff Done, because I don't like this main character at all. I can't even remember her name, which is never a good sign because she has the majority of the POVs. I'll put Audible on the pause for now, but they did step up. Right. I'm supposed to be on pause for them, but I keep pushing off my cancel my membership again because of these originals that I'm listening to. Because that's what they be charging so much for, is the access to the originals, which were trash. And so I feel like a lot of people cancel Audible because they were like, this isn't worth it. So they either canceled it or went back to the very, very basic package of $8 a month. And I think to rectify that, Audible actually started investing in quality again, which, as you should, serve them well. But I think I'm running through the quality originals, and if that's the case, Audible, we're gonna be on the break again, honey. So anyway, Witches Get Stuff Done. This woman who is a witch but does not know she was a witch, that old thing. Her mom died 8 months ago. Her aunt, who is her mom's only sister and only surviving relative, reaches out to her. She did not know about this aunt. Her mom was very reticent with her. They were very distant. And she at first sort of like chalked it up to her mom being older when she had her. And so maybe just being like super chill and not really seeing the need for all this like touchy, feely, whatever. And I'm like, okay. But they weren't close, which sort of always hurted her. So she's hurted her. Sort of always hurt her. Cache doing a happy food dance. And so
my birthday song, people texting me, so my birthday song I'm going on song dance.
Got it. So she goes to this island that she's also never heard of. Hey, Adrian. Black Candle Woman. Okay, let us know how that is. So she goes to the island, finds out, dang, her aunt died 20 hours ago. Unfortunate. She's really, really sad because her aunt was not like a techie person either. And so she talked to her on the phone one time, but the aunt was like, you got to come and talk to me in person. Like, I don't do this whole phone face time thing. And I was like, and now you're dead. I can't explain to you how annoyed I would be at just that. If I talked to you on the phone and you didn't tell me anything and then you die, I'm going to talk to you in person. That's why we have phones, to communicate. Anyway, so she gets that her aunt is dead. Here's my issue. It's not even the plot. The plot is a very it's a very well done, like not well done. It's a very like often done trope. I don't care. It's the actual character. It's her. I don't like her. She's mean. So they have to take a ferry to get to this island. She meets a woman there. They connect. It's fun. She doesn't have a lot of friends. She's happy to have made a little quick friend on this ferry trip. And there's only 2 bathrooms on the ferry. One of them says out of order. The other one has been occupied the entire time. And so her friend is like, I really have to pee. She's like, I really have to throw up. And so they go to the bathroom. They're waiting. She's banging on this door like, hello, people are out here. Da, da, da. Here's my thing. That would be my like third step. My first step would not be to nobody on the bathroom because someone is in there. Because what do you think they're doing in there? Playing on their iPod? Like, clearly they're in there because they're using the facilities. So even if it's taking longer than you wanted, that's unfortunate. But what you want them to do? What do you want them to do? Stop throwing up, stop peeing, stop being constipated? Like, what do you want from them at this point? They're in there. So she's banging on this door, yelling at them. She at no point does a little, are you okay in there? Can I get you anything? Nothing. Just skips right to rude. And I'm just like, I don't like that. So she bangs on the door, no answer. Bangs on it again. He comes out and he's like, he is gray in the face. He's clearly just super seasick. And he's like, can you please stop with the loudness? And for a second, she feels bad. And then she goes back to being rude. And it's like, well, why are you over here holding up the bathroom? Da, 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 da. And he's like, I just really feel very sick. And then, y'all, she throws up on this man's shoes. She throws up on this man's shoes, and he's like, I can't believe you just did that. And then her answer is an apology? Haha, no. Her answer is, well, had you been out the bathroom, maybe I would have thrown up in a toilet and not on your shoes, which I'm not paying for, by the way. What? Girl, get out of here. I that kind of rudeness is just unnecessary, and I don't like it. And so fast forward that she gets on the island, finds out that her aunt is dead. We find out that this guy that she's thrown up on is probably going to be her love interest. He has been trying to get her aunt to let him into this huge house that she... Exactly, Vina. I literally was listening, sitting up in bed like, what? I was like, this is... Listen, y'all know that I am not a great defender of men. But this, see, I was taught not to hit anybody, man or woman. Because if you hit them, they can hit you back. It don't matter if it's a man. If you ain't trying to fight them, don't put your hands on them. And my dad has always been like, men be really trying very hard not to hit women, but some women really be teasing and testing men to see if they gonna do it. And when it does happen, they be acting all victim, but it's like, but you was big and bad 5 seconds ago. You was begging for it 5 seconds ago. She is giving me that kind of woman, the kind of woman that, like, you have all of this lip for a man, feeling secure that he's not going to like reciprocate because he doesn't want to be called abusive or toxic or whatever. But if it were a woman, I do not think that she would have had the same energy for a woman, because a woman ain't got, like, she can slap you up and it's just a cat fight. It's not like, oh my gosh, it's abuse. Oh my gosh, she's like, it's not the same. And I feel like she's really getting off on that. I don't like that. I do not like that.
Yeah, no, I have, it's a pet peeve of mine to like hear people talk to other people, like people that they know that they can talk to a certain way, because if they do, somebody's gonna come back, it's gonna feel away. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't like it at
I
all.
was definitely raised, if you big enough to hit, you big enough to get hit back type of family. So like,
and she just talking loud. And his shoes were, they did look expensive, and she was like, she was unapologetic. And in her mind, she was like, well, now I feel bad. But then she go back at it, and then she was like, well, now I feel bad again. Well, then I'm mad. Well, I'm just a very like angry, like that person. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Your unabating anger is no one's responsibility but your own. That does not give you license to go out
like
here.
common courtesy. Like, I would expect you to be apologetic and to ask how you can remedy the situation if you caused it on me. Like, what?
Because also, we're on a ferry. Let's not act like you could have taken your behind over the railing, thrown up into the water.
I feel like, do you have motion sickness? Why are you on this boat?
Because she was summoned there by this long lost who she really wants to meet, which is fine, go. But don't blame him for being motion sick also and doing what you was trying to do.
Right. I'd be so embarrassed. I can't imagine having an attitude with somebody after I throw up on them. Like, that's wild. That's wild. What really does this character look like us?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains it. That like, absolutely, I was like, this person can't look like us.
And I was like, and he better not be black, because I know he's the love interest, but I will not read a book where a black man is going for a loud, mean white girl.
Make it,
because had that been a black woman, see, that's why I don't mess with y'all. Y'all so loud and so mean and da 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 da. So don't get a white girl who acts like that.
I'm not messing with you because you disgusting. What? Like, what?
You just gonna throw up on someone and be like,
you have an attitude after you threw up on me is enough. Right. You can be quietly attitudinal for all I care. You still ain't got no chance. Like, what? Honey, that was your fault. You should have got some I don't know what to tell you.
She stood on it. She was not going to apologize. She didn't apologize then. And then it was later when she saw him again at the lawyer's office that she was like getting her aunt's last will and testament. It was then when she saw him that she was like, I'm not paying for your shoes. That's why you're here.
First of all, okay, again, I knew she didn't look like us because like that's mighty haughty of you to think that I'm here because you threw up on my shoes and I had to stalk you to find you to get you to pay for them. Honey, I bought them to begin with. I am pretty sure
You
I
think I
can
can't afford
afford to
it?
replace them. I
Girl.
don't want to have to. Why would you even? It's the audacity. It's the caucasity for me.
It's the caucasity for me. And but here's why I no longer have any sympathy for him. It's because here's the conversation, and this is when I was like, "Oh, you're disrespectful. I don't like disrespectful people. Be they child or adult. I don't like them. I feel like I can't trust you. Ain't got no doggone. I feel like it's just so foolish to be disrespectful. If you're a fool, I can't rock with you. So at the office, he does not yet know that her aunt is dead. The aunt died while both of them were off of the island. They both just came back. She got the news. He went to work. He hasn't been told yet. He has been trying for a while to get her aunt to let him into the house where she's like the steward of the house, takes care of it for this rich family that no one has seen in years. And so he's like, okay, I know Nora, the aunt, is bringing her niece there to like take over the position essentially. So maybe if I can get in good with her niece, who he expects to be like a middle-aged woman, not like the 30-year-old protagonist that it is. Maybe if I can get in good with the niece, I'll finally be able to get to the house. So he goes to the office trying to meet the niece, not knowing it's old rude girl from the boat. And so he gets there. And then there are all these older women there, and they're like, you should be ashamed of yourself. To him, I said, homeboy just walked in the door. Can we just take a beat? What's this animosity y'all have? And they're like, how could you do that to that poor girl? And he's like, I genuinely don't know what you're talking about. And then they're like, how could you take up the one bathroom on the boat? Now, to clarify, there were two. What happens is everyone knows that he is viciously seasick. He lives on this island and purposely has one of the few houses with not a single view of the ocean. He's surrounded by trees. So whenever he does take the boat, the captain always puts an out of order sign on one of the bathrooms because he literally be hiding in the bathroom. But there were some kids on the boat who were playing around and they moved the sign. So it's not his fault that you didn't know that the other bathroom actually was not out of order. Like that was just their shenanigans. But anyway, so now these old ladies like, well, how could you do this? Da-da-da-da. Bye. How could you do this? Da-da-da-da. And then he's like, how do you even know what happened on the boat? And then she comes out the office and he's like, oh, now, what? At what point in the conversation do you have to talk about this man? I don't understand how that even came up. And so she comes out the office. She's like, oh, it's you. Better not be talking about no money. And he's like, I mean, he didn't know that the aunt passed. He found out in that conversation. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Not that would have changed his actions on the boat anyway, because he didn't know that information, nor does he know you, but whatever. And so he tries to apologize. And he's like, I'm sorry that I, monopolized the bathroom. I have a condition. And she was like, oh, do you go into acute anaphylaxis when you're around jackass? Me too. And I was like, that was highly unnecessary. And
remember that day that I was like, I don't even like this girl, and y'all got me defending her because the way y'all came at her sideways, like that's why that day, like the way y'all talk to people, like, are you serious?
It's crazy.
This is why I'm glad I stay in my house, because reflex would have been to pop you in your face, and then I'd have been like, dang, I'm not as far as I thought I was.
I haven't gotten as far as
I didn't hit you, and I really shouldn't have hit you, but you just did something stupid.
Like, why would you
talk to somebody like that?
Who's apologizing to you?
Right.
What? And then here's when I stopped feeling bad for him. He said, dang, and she's intelligent. Like the kind of, like he thinks that she is so beautiful. And he's like, she's
been hideous to me for like the last few paragraphs of your retelling. Like, I don't care how cute you think she is. I'm like, oh, you ugly.
And the girl on the book is not all that. It's a drawing of a girl, and she looks very average. She looks intentionally average. So I'm like, what are you seeing? Because he described her as having like an elfin Lord of the Rings beauty, and I'm like, did you tell Audible that's what you wanted? Because that's not what they drew for you. They did not draw Galadriel. Okay, they didn't
I
draw no
just
Lord of the
feel
Rings
like
elf.
I need to know what Elf and Lord of the Rings beauty looks like, because what I pictured when you said that was vastly the opposite of beautiful. But that's just me.
I mean, they're very. It's a dainty, ethereal beauty. I don't find all of them attractive, but they all do have that dainty, fair ethereality about them, whether I find their actual features to be pleasant or not. And so I guess he was saying she's that. The drawing is not that. Communicate with your cover designer a little bit better next time, Molly. But anyway, that's what he said she's supposed to be. And so he's like, and now not only is she beautiful, but she is intelligent, and that's going to make it hard for me to stop thinking about her long after I've forgotten her beauty, which of course could never happen. And I was like, I don't like you, you're simple, because that was not intelligent. He was calling intelligent her comment about being allergic to Jack A's, and I'm just like, that was she could be intelligent, but that was not a sign of intelligence. So I'm just like, what? So you get whatever you deserve. Like if that's what if that's gonna
First
draw
of
you
all, I
in.
just want to say that's how much she doesn't defend men. This man will call this woman intelligent, and you're like, oh, you can deserve everything she doing. No, no, no. Just because he's simple don't mean he deserved for her to talk to him like any kind of way. Because if the woman was simple and he was talking to her some kind of way, you'd be like, no, you need to
I
be
would be like, that's
like,
why you get men like this.
yeah.
Because you're simple.
Yeah, but you definitely wouldn't be like, oh no, it's justified for her to get treated
No,
that
it's
way.
not justified. I don't like her. It's not justified. Her behavior is terrible. But I'm just like, if you end up with her, that's on you. Because she is not giving you any sort of, she is not showing you a bit of kindness. So if you end up with her, even as she's talking to you like this, you stepped into that. And I would say the same thing if it were a woman. And I would actually probably stop reading, because I don't like reading those kind of simple women any more than I like seeing these sort of simple men. But my thing is, can we have some moderation? Because what I want is, if she's a jerk, then she's a jerk. It happens. Like, that's fine. But I just want a realistic reaction, whether it's the guy being a jerk or the woman being a jerk. I want a realistic reaction. Like, if they gonna come with smoke, give them some fire. But I too often see a huge jerk and then a very meek person opposite them who just sort of absorbs it and sort of just bears with it until their meekness transforms the other person and makes them start being nice to them. And I'm just like, this is a fantasy. That is not what happens if you stay with narcissistic, evil, verbally abusive people. You're not going to make them be nice to you by being nice to them in this relationship. You need to excuse yourself. So I don't feel any better about it with it being a woman that's being mean as opposed to a man. And I wish that there was just an appropriate reaction given to this sort of behavior for once, and not just having one person just be trash and the other person just bearing it. That's my thing. Okay. Now I'm done. And I'm still like I'm in chapter like 6. I don't know how far I'm going to get into this book, because I dislike her so much. And the way that she's witty, I'm just like, it's giving whining to me. It's giving whining disrespect. This is not wit. Why are y'all labeling meanness, intelligence, and complaining wit? I'm in the wrong book. I gotta go. But Vienna also like, I need to read a better fantasy after this book. Oh, Maya, hey. Because the magic system is convoluted and the writing is not here in this book. Oh, really? And blood marked? I feel like that's typical second book syndrome, though. Like when you have to produce it.
You say second book syndrome. I think it's typical for contemporary fantasies that we've been reading. I feel that every contemporary fantasy has had something that's left to be desired in the magic system.
In the second book, I think in the first book, they come out strong.
Well, I haven't read that one, so I can't speak to that one. But in the two that I've read, the first and majority of the second books, because the second books have been different. Yeah, nah. Mm-mm.
What books are you
The
talking
magic
about?
system. I'll tell you later. I'll tell you in the
Okay.
private chat. But yeah.
I typically find that it's a second book syndrome thing, and I think it's because you have as long as you want to, because like if that's your debut book, then that's the book you've been working on for years and years. You then get more eyes on it through your editor, and you have time to really polish it. Once you are signed and you're on a book deal, you have a schedule of submission, and then that
But
second
that
book doesn't
shouldn't change the
necessarily.
magic system. I definitely get the writing not being there. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
magic system part. If you flushed out the magic system really well in the first one,
if
then the second one it shouldn't be. And that's what I'm saying. In the first one of the two that I put in the private chat, the magic system was kind of like, huh. It was more about like the world, like the people
yeah,
in it than the magic. So that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. I think
yeah,
contemporaries have that issue
yeah,
versus fantasies that are other ones is what I mean. Because like
yeah. I mean,
there's
I
more
think
into the world building in those, and this is
yeah.
not as much that.
Yeah, because I think like the impetus is for the, and I've heard like authors say this, that you want to give more in the second book. You want to give the reader something new, and so you have been focusing on this very particular view of the world. And when you start to pan out, then if you're having to do some magic system and introducing new characters and all of that, in the 1 year period you have to write that book or however long you had, that is a lot to do well. If this is your first time like widening your sort of view of the world, you're having to create and write and try to revise and all
Right?
that
No,
kind of
I
stuff.
definitely don't think
That's
it's
that.
easy.
Yeah, I think that's why it suffers, is because if you had been focusing on a particular span and now you have to create more of the world system or try to expand it, I think it's just a really tall order, and it oftentimes does not work out.
Yeah, no, I can see that being true for contemporary fantasy for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Also, I think some authors only plan for their book to be one book, but these publishers love a 2 to 3 book deal. Yeah, I agree with that. I could agree with that. Well, I can't think of a fantasy that I have read that I got the feel that it ever could have been one book. Like like Tutu is the only book, is the only fantasy, and that's, I mean, that's the only like speculative book I've read in a while that's a standalone, and I wish it was.
I'll be honest. I think
Oh, so this
Redemption
is your
and
book, Shay.
Raybear. I think Redemption and Raybear could have been one book. It could have been
That's
like
good.
part one
I feel like
Raybear,
Deidre would
part
agree, because
two.
Deidre wanted them to be longer, and I think they could have been one like
They
suitably
could have been
long.
one book,
Yeah, I agree with that.
especially for like feeling like not like as much happens in the second book, but when it does, it happens so fast that it's like this they definitely could have been just like one thick big book and a
It was a lot of
Raybear
politics.
part one and Redemptor part two as like the divider, and
Yeah,
it would have been really really
yeah,
good. I
I
don't
agree.
dislike it how
No,
it
I
is.
loved it.
I loved it, but I do think that's one that could have been one book for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that, because there was a lot of build up in Redemptor. There's a lot of getting to know
Right.
her new council, the dreams, her
Right, and
wrestling with
if
the
anything,
inner
that could have been part
demons.
two, and then we could have got a good amount more from being in the underworld part of
Hmm.
it.
Yeah,
For
because that was
because
fast.
that was my biggest complaint for it.
For all the build up, we was in
For
there for
all
five
the build
minutes.
up of it, for it to go like that, I was like, "Yo, I was anticipating some gut wrenching moments
Yeah,
and being in this place for so long for how
yeah,
much it took to finally get there."
yeah.
Uh,
It
so
was. She was in and out, honey. She
she
was.
was in and out. And I was like, I mean, well, do what you gotta do. She said, get in, get out, get done. I feel it. But
And that's
also,
what she did.
that's literally what she did. Like,
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, okay, I agree. It would have been one of them 20-hour joints that would have been like woo, but it would have been a good 20-hour joint that you're
a
like, okay, it's
great 20
long, but you kind of want to stay forever, so it's okay.
right.
I agree. Wayne's could have been one book. Yeah, I.
No, no, no. I gotta open the text message apparently. Sorry, my bad.
Happy birthday to you.
I agree. Wings could have been one book. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I only read A Song of Wraith and Ruins. I didn't read A Song of Psalms and Storms or Silence or whatever it is. I think it's a trilogy, right? There's another one. I don't know. I didn't. I didn't read after that. I sort of just forgot about it. Though I mean, Songs of Race and Runes ended on a sort of cliffhanger where I was like, what? But I just forgot about it. But I think there's a lot of good books that could have been even better as a single. And I think it'd be interesting to hear authors talk about if they had wanted them to be a standalone or a duology versus a trilogy.
Curious to know.
I certainly would. High, great point. Now that I think of it, it could have been a big book instead of two. Yeah, because then tomorrow's her birthday, Brie. Because then when you have two books, you gotta add stuff to justify the second book as opposed to letting some stuff just
and
be in
if
the
we're being
background.
honest, we can all think of ways in which we were like, this really didn't need to be in there. Why was this there? Why was this there? Like,
you're just taking up time at this point.
You're just taking up time. Like, why?
Yeah. So
I'm gonna just put it on vibrate. My bad, y'all. So
I think that's a good point. You know, I would honestly be interested to reread these books as a standalone, as like a single, to see like what's lost and how much tighter the story might be without it. That would be interesting. One of my friends planned a duology, said her publisher made her condense it to one book. Well, that's the other side of it.
Right.
That's the other side of it. Also, I'm still in a 2-book camp with Ray Bear. I think it would have been a long first book, and we know how I feel right now about long books, but I think that Ray Bear was so good, that would be like the only book that I don't mind being long, because it wouldn't feel like it was long for no reason. I'm always going to feel like Ray Bear drug a little bit because I had to read it in ebook, so it took me way longer than it would have been if it were audio. But I still agree that like it was a lot of getting to know people that we didn't necessarily need. And I think that people could have been like, oh, I would love to hear more about.
You mean Redemptor?
Yes.
Okay. I was like,
yeah. No, Redemptor was a lot of getting to know her counsel. And while that's cool, I think we could have had that spread out in like the latter half of Ray Bear and been cool. Because all things considered, even though that's a big part of it, there's not a lot of text around it. Like she definitely could have like spliced that into book 1. So anyway,
sure. Yeah. I don't have a problem that it was 2 books. I was just like, no, that could have been one big book. I would have taken that. I would have taken that for sure.
I might have even loved it even more. Like I love them both.
Honestly, yeah, no, because they really were good.
Yeah, I might have loved it even more. Yeah, I think Deidre felt the same way about Redemptor.
Yeah, no, it dragged and then it wrapped really fast. And I was like, because to me, I figured the dragging was going to pay off with the underworld. And because it wrapped so quickly, I was like, well, dang. It was still a 4 for me. It's still a 4. So.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, y'all. It is 12:33. Thank you for sprinting and chatting with us. All the happy birthday wishes to Shay. Thank y'all for showing love in the chat. If you have not watched Shay and mine's Chronothon 2022 announcement videos, definitely go check those out. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up in the comments. Shay, do you have any other announcements that you want to make?
I'll probably do a birthday stream sometime tomorrow, either here or Twitch. I don't know yet, but I'll tweet about it. So just make sure you follow me on Twitter.
All right, at 50SO Shay on Twitter and Instagram, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, y'all. Drink water and mind your business. Have a good weekend. Bye.